Hey guys, welcome back to my cryptocurrency YouTube channel where I typically review coins and tokens. Tonight I'm going to keep it very short and go over something completely different. I'm going to go over what they call the order book. In every single exchange there's always what's called an order book, and it's going to look something similar to this. I picked this example because it's an easier one to explain in my opinion compared to other ones, and it's dynamic. It's going to be changing all the time even as we do this actual video, but this one's for Tron. And I'm just going to explain kind of as much as I can about it and keep it short and simple at the same time. So over here, I'm going to go ahead and pick the all because I want to see the complete range of the order book. And the reason why you have green and red, what it's basically saying is everything from this equilibrium standpoint in the very middle, everything to the left, the green, that's what's called the bid, meaning that's what people are willing to pay for Tron as it lowers in price and in value. In the red, this is called the ask. That means that everybody is willing to sell. They already have Tron in their hand, and they're willing to sell their Tron for X amount of Bitcoin as it goes up. And the reason why I wanted this particular graph is because if you see here, you have little blips. Here's a little blip, here's a blip, here's a big wall right here. They call them kind of walls, right? So the reason why this particular thing is interesting to me is what you have. Okay, let me cover this real quick. So the X part of the graph down here, that's going to be your price in Bitcoin for what the Tron is selling at the current moment. So right now, if you look at the last purchase, it was at 454 Satoshi, which is of a Bitcoin. Over here, so you're right in the middle, right in here should be about 454. That's the equilibrium. That's right in the middle, okay? That's the last time it was sold for. So if I go over here and you look below my arrow, I can't point, but like right here where it says 540, well, it changed now. Okay, let's say 551. That's saying that somebody is willing to sell X amount of Tron at 551 Satoshi level. If you look up here, this number that's going to be at the top of that graph, that's the total amount of Bitcoin in total that somebody's willing. So basically what it's basically saying this. So let's go down here. So this right here is actually the order book, but not in a visual standpoint. It's just from a pure numbers standpoint. But it's harder for people to understand by looking at this to say, okay, what's really going on? I mean, I can break it down for you and explain what it means, but this tells me something right here. This basically tells me that there aren't that many people that are going to think that it's going to be dropping right now. They think it's going to be growing, and they're wanting to sell at these points. It's going to be harder to sell maybe up in here because that means Tron would roughly have to get over 1,000 Satoshi, which means it would have to double in price or double in value from a Satoshi standpoint, Bitcoin standpoint, to actually get there. So this top part right here, these numbers though, that's the total amount of Bitcoin. So it's basically saying, like right here, let's see if I can get it to stay. Right there, it's basically saying 410 Bitcoin. I don't know why it's not saying, guys. I'm sorry. But 410 Bitcoin would have to be sold. Okay? Or no, I'm sorry. let me back that up real quick. 410 Bitcoin would have to be used to buy the Tron that's selling at that point at, 600 Satoshi basically. So the question is, do we really think up in here that 552 Satoshi would be Bitcoin would be used to buy Tron right now? And that's a lot. 552, if I just did a calculation right now, 552 Bitcoin times the current price, and I know you can't see it down there at the bottom because I think my face is covering that up, but at the bottom of Bittrex, they have the actual price of Bitcoin right now. So it's 11,319. So $6.2 million would have to be thrown into this and push the Tron price up, and that's how much would be sold to people because they're buying. So you can kind of see right there that there's a big push for it to grow. Now, the order book really isn't meant for long term. So if you're buying and holding and whatever, then this is kind of pointless to you. But if you're day trading or swing trading, mostly probably day trading, then this is kind of important because you can see the momentum of where it's being pushed back and forth. And right now, from this graph at 100%, it's not really, a lot of people aren't trying to buy at a low level. They're trying to sell when it's going up to a higher level. And what I would say is, if you're going to sell somewhere in here or anywhere in here, try to find right before you hit a wall, and then make your sell order maybe like right here, or make your sell order right here, or make it right here. But don't make it after the wall or in the middle of the wall. You need to do it, you need to be a little bit conservative and make it right before that wall, because then your order will be filled, because sometimes it hits this wall and it literally turns into a wall where it can't make it past that, and then it suppresses the price or it equalizes it, and now you're stuck still holding on, and you might have wanted to get out of that opportunity, but you couldn't because it hit that wall. And so that's why they call them, like, sell walls or buy walls. Last but not least, I'll just go down here and explain this real quick. So you have what's called the sum, the total, the size, and the bid. And again, bid means buying. This is what people are willing to buy Tron at for this Satoshi level. And the ask is sell. So this is what people are willing to sell at this price. And as you can see, it's 1 Satoshi in between, so that's where the equilibrium is bouncing back and forth between those two prices. So if I take this price right here and I multiply it times this size, the amount of Tron that they're willing to sell, so it's the quantity times the price equals the total. Well, then you get the sum. So the sum on the first row is always going to be identical. If you look here, it's identical. If you look here, it's identical. But then what you're going to do, the totals down here, they're going to continue to add up. So the way that works is you're going to have this cell here plus this cell is going to be equal to this cell. And these two are going to be equal to this one, these two, this one. It just keeps going down just like this over and over and over again. So if I go all the way down here and I see, okay, 67 Bitcoin right in here at this price, 405. If I go up here, and I find 405 Satoshi, which is going to be right about there. There you go, 6713. That's the amount of Bitcoin that will be needed to buy those coins, or sell those. Over here it's always selling, over here it's buying. So I hope that made sense. It's kind of short, kind of sweet, but you can use this to your advantage when you're buying or selling, because you can see kind of the swings of momentum as far as visually how it looks. You can see where the walls are set up. Like I said, I'm always a little bit conservative, so I get my order filled. If I set something up to sell or set something up to buy, I just do it slightly before the wall. That way I kind of guarantee, or it's a higher probability that my order goes through. I hope that made sense. It's not super technical, not something that's gonna make it tons and tons of money, but I think at least you can play it safe this way, and I hope that made sense as far as the explanations of these columns and the explanation of the situation. Usually it's not this clear. Usually the buy and sell walls or the order book is kind of balanced out, and then you'll see massive jumps as you go further and further down the thing. If I went to, let's say, 50%, let me zoom in even closer. So this one doesn't go out as far, because granted you're gonna have to go through a ton of Bitcoin to get to this level, but you can see little walls right in here as you go. And so like I said, if it was me, I'd probably put little prices somewhere in here, somewhere in here, somewhere in here. That way my order gets filled and I don't have to wake up the next morning and go, oops, I missed an opportunity. So hope that helped. Try to keep it short and simple, a little bit different than my other videos. If you liked it and if I helped you out, please give me a thumbs up. If you disliked it and that didn't help at all, please give me a thumbs down and let me know, so that way I can, try to make better videos for you guys. So thanks. Have a great night, guys.